Oh, it's good to see everyone this morning. It's a stormy day again. What is up with these Fridays, guys? I don't know what's happening. I know, it's a big deal. We want some sunshine on our Fridays. Miss Vicky's coming up to greet us. Let's begin to be quiet for a moment.
Good morning. Wow, you guys already know that. That's awesome. You are just ready to go. That is perfect. Good morning, everybody. We are going to have another rainy Friday, so just be prepared for that. Although it won't be the torrential Friday that we had last week, thankfully. But it might be a little wet at dismissal. So anyway, just as we get started, remember, and you've already shown me that you know, to be very respectful audience members. For those of you that want to come up and dance as the band is playing, you may do that. Everyone make sure all your phones are put away, and I don't see them during chapel. If you just have them on your lap, that counts as being out. So I will have them. They will be mine. Okay? If anyone wants to come up and dance and sing with the band, you may do that during that session, during our music portion. And then make sure we are being respectful, attentive audience members during our lesson afterwards. And then we'll get everybody out of here for workshop. Have an awesome. Kevin Hill, you need to take that juice outside right now. Go ahead. If anyone else has juice or food right now, you need to go eat out of the picnic table, and you can come in when you're done eating. But we're not eating in here right now. Thank you.
Come on, come on up. seas to cover the mountains that lies below. You're mine. Our treasures of wisdom, things to be known, are hidden inside your in this fortunate time of events. Yeah,
Jesus, I come. Jesus, I come. In every broken place, you are my righteousness. Jesus, I come. Jesus, I come. As I will rise deep and in
truth and grace. So I try to emulate that. My wife comes to me and says, honey, am I starting to look like my mom? I just answer her question with a question. Truth and grace. Would you rather look like your dad?
Meet Timothy Torkelson. Fact, the meanest kid this side of Jersey.
True. Has a rap sheet a mile long, or misdemeanor starting around age 12.
Fact, at 1:15 a.m., Timothy Ann Torkelson is cited.
His middle name's Dan?
True.
No wonder he's so mean.
Anywho, Timothy Ann Torkelson at 1:15 a.m. did his last crime by trying to steal a Bob's Big Boy statue at the local Bob's Big Boy.
True. When asked about said statue, Timothy replied, and I quote, I wanted a new big brother.
Fact, that's just me.
To the core.
Back in my day, we didn't have grace. We told the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help us God. We liked it. Back in my day, there wasn't God is grace and show them grace. We served a mean God who judged everything we did. We were filled with guilt, shame, fear, and constipation, and we liked it. Nowadays, the church is just filled with a bunch of sissified, penny-waste graceaholics, and I don't like it.
Hello, my name is George.
And I'm Jorge, and together we're George and Jorge. You know what the world is lacking is a little bit of truth and a little bit of grace. So we've taken them both and packaged them together in a really cheesy song that we will all forget in a couple of months and go back to our selfish ways.
Right. And what we've done is we've remixed the song and we've added in the truth and the grace. So we don't know if you can live it out, but you can still sing it.
I know the Bible so well. I have some truth I can tell. I know just where you fell, and I can show you the way. I'm changing you is my wish. Although you tried, you did miss. You must stop acting like this, and I can show you the way. This truth I'm holding, Jesus, grace I'm showing, Holy Spirit's blowing. Jesus was born as a baby. Hey,
I just met you, and this is crazy. But here's the truth, friends, and some grace. Fact, little Timmy Torkelson is going off to juvie. The truth is, Jersey is a better place without Timmy Torkelson.
Actually, I paid the fine, and I talked to the judge, and he waived all the charges.
You did what?
Yeah, I showed the kid grace, you know, no punishment. Even offered to be his big brother.
Wow, that is so big boy of you, you know, that's crazy, that's really crazy.
That's great. Are you crying?
No, I'm not crying, this is that pupil dexteritis thing that's going around, alright?
Sounds made up to me.
It's not made up, it's as real as your mother's mole.
Playing Jesus in my church program. He came to me, I told him I don't look anything like him, but nobody else would do it, so here I am. In playing him, I got to thinking about it. And of all the things he is, there's this amazing thing about him, that this balance of truth and grace, you know? I mean, take for instance the story of the rich young ruler. I mean, it says in Mark that he showed genuine love. Jesus shows genuine love to this guy. I mean, that's grace. That's amazing. That's amazing grace. Yeah. But then, just like a minute or two later, he looks at him and says, "You need to sell everything you have if you want to follow me." And that's truth, because he knew that money had a hold on the guy's heart. Truth and grace. I need more of that in my life. The truth is, I may not look like Jesus, but I sure do want to act more like him.
All right. Good morning, Solid Rock. So this morning we're going to play a little game. It's called Who's Lying? The premise of the game is to figure out, you guessed it, who is lying. For my money, I will tell you this, Mr. Carl is one of the biggest liars I've ever met in my life. So if we are choosing who line, I go with Mr. Carl every time. All right, so at this point, I would like to call up the 5 judges. Please come on up. You were selected earlier. All right, it appears I don't need to select you. That is okay. There's one I had in mind earlier. Tristan Giovanetti, come on up. I want you up here. You are a shrewd mind. Let's go. Don't worry about that. Where is Mr. Howe? Bradley, come on up. Come on, Bradley. And, Zoe. Come on up. All right, so let's take a minute to introduce you all to our judges.
My name is Alex Poole. I'm going to be a judge. I'm going to judge all of you.
I like it, and keep going.
India.
Very nice.
My name is Bobby B.
Hey guys, my name is Logan Bedroom and I will be a judge and prepare to be Judge Carl, boys.
All right, typical Logan match. Welcome, good pairs too. All right, so let's get to our first question of the day. I played saxophone in middle school. Alright, so the point of the game is here, we're going to go from one judge to the next. They will ask a question of both of our gentlemen, and they will do their best to fly. Alex, start us off.
Alright, so
Any question that has to do with the topic here?
did you, Mr. Carl, play the saxophone?
Yes, I did. It says so right up there.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that. It was an E-flat alto. I tried the B-flat tenor, but I was just too big. I was a small guy in high school. And so the E-flat alto was much smaller and it just fit me so much better.
Any questions for us, India?
What did you play on the saxophone? What music?
Who are you targeting this to? Who are you targeting this to? So you were looking older. So all right. So we played just classical pieces for the most part. We were in middle school. I had my middle school band teacher. She was great. She's really sweet, and I really went a lot, pretty far. I was playing, and I honestly can't remember. Like I honestly can't, and I don't remember a lot of my teachers' names. So I'm sorry, but I did play, and I got to the point where I was so good that I actually got to jump up into the high school and play with the high school band, which was really fun. A little school called West State Christian. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's in Tampa. See? It's real. I'm real. I did play saxophone. I promise you.
I went to public school in Tampa, and I was at Middleton Junior High School, and my band teacher's name was Professor Rodriguez. And what middle school is going to play classical music? No. We played like the theme from the Pink Panther, especially on the saxophone. Man, I really love it. Couldn't hear his question.
What was your favorite song to play?
My favorite song to play was Melancholy Baby. Back to me, my melancholy baby.
Hey, what's up?
What was your favorite
saxophone player.
Okay, so there's this guy named Boney James. He's a soft jazz guy. We got to see him live on Clearwater. You know what's that little theater right there off of Alternate 19? No, not theater, sorry. It's like outdoor. It's right on the water, right on the channel. Yeah, Coachman Park. So he played there, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. Like, hearing his stuff, studio was great, but hearing him live, oh my goodness, killed it. Boney James.
What brand did, what saxophone brand did you use? Like what company name?
Oh God. I played a Yamaha saxophone.
See, he's got all the answers, because he's live.
Because I'm a saxophone.
God, what was it? Man, I had it for so long. It definitely was not a Yamaha. Man. I need to call my mom. No, Yamaha doesn't make saxophones. He is correct in that. I can't remember. I can't.
Alright, that's a little suspect on this.
It's been a while, okay? That was a long time ago.
Alright, my judges. Who believes Mr. Carl?
I got it at Paragon Music. I did get it at Paragon Music.
4 believe Mr. Carl is lying.
I'm lying?
Gentlemen, who's telling the truth?
The truth is...
I told you, Carl's a liar. You gotta watch out for him.
Carl is a liar.
Alright, I'll bring it to Alright, he used to do singing telegrams as a living. I'm not sure you guys know what these are. The singing telegram is when you would call someone and sing a message to them. That's not really something that we do today. It's not really necessary with smartphones. So, if I had to guess, I think I know who did this job.
Well, I'm pretty young to know what that means, but
Well, if you'd like, I can explain it to you. All right, a singing telegram. They used to have a saying where the telegram would get delivered to people, and it would say, like, you know, your dog ran away, or you got the job out of town, or whatever. And so somebody came up with the idea to have singing telegrams, and they made a lot of money off of it, and I did make a lot of money when I did it, and I wore this silly little policeman's cap and a bright red embroidered vest, and I had a little toy monkey hanging around my neck that kind of would go, you know, hit it on the head and go, while I would sing happy birthday to you, and then I'd give them a telegram and pin a button on them, and I made a lot of money doing that.
That's a good story. That's a good story. Yes. Okay, yeah, so I was paid per telegram. Okay, so it wasn't like an hourly thing. There was no like travel expenses or anything like that. It was literally per telegram, and it was $30 per telegram. Remember, this is several years ago. It probably would have been a little bit more at that at this time. So $30 per telegram, which I mean you could do, you could do 10 telegrams. Oh, $300 right there in a day. So.
what was your favorite singing telegram to do?
My favorite one, and this was back when I was a young man, and I hadn't even gotten married yet or anything. My favorite one was the Happy Divorce. Because the guy would hire me to go and tell his wife. And one time, the woman didn't know. And so she was all like, really? All right. And I was surprised at that, because she was, like giving a positive response to this thing. So it must have been a really sad situation. But better than that, there was this one time that I had to go to this secretarial pool. Now you guys are too young to know what that is either. Big companies that would have a big room with a whole bunch of secretaries in it waiting to be called to go to the different bosses' offices to type up stuff and everything. And it was one of their birthdays. That was the most common one. The happy birthday one was there. And so they were all chanting and screaming like I was some other kind of a messenger. And I'm like, no, we're not about this, is just a happy birthday. But it was fun to get all that attention from so many women when I was just a young man.
Mr. Aaron,
Yes.
what did you wear when you did your
Okay, so what we wore is we wore all black, white tie. Just real classy, you know, just like Miller's the jazz artist, you know, just it's a little poppin', you know, listen. But real clean look, just wanted to be professional, not whatever you're wearing. I don't know what that was. It sounds like a clown almost. We're not clowns, we're telegrams.
Mr. Carl, what made you quit your job in the singing telegram?
My girlfriend at the time was very embarrassed by me doing that. However, the band that I worked with, they kept trying to get me to do it on our breaks for the bride and the groom and everything. And I said, pay me and I'll do it. But so yeah, the girlfriend, she won out over the money. She was embarrassed.
Of course, it's the girlfriend.
All right, so judges, please do remember with this question. One of our contestants is the lead singer of the band, and the other is our drummer. So, if you believe Mr. Carl is telling a lie, please raise your hand. That Carl is lying, that Aaron was saying. Okay, so again, 4 out of 5. Brad, you believe that Aaron is telling a lie.
So Brad believes that I used to do singing telegrams.
Gentlemen, who's telling the truth?
Brad, you are correct, sir. And I got paid $7 per gram, and $100 in a day was a fantastic afternoon. Yes, it was 105 years ago.
Next question. I went on a missionary trip to Australia. Both of these gentlemen are wonderful men who do great work for the Lord. This is going to be a hard one to hear.
Did you ever get bitten by like any Australian spiders or like anything?
Who are you asking?
Sorry, Mr. Aaron.
Yes. Have I been bitten by, was I bitten by anything? I was not bitten by anything, thank goodness. But there are a lot of insects and things in Australia. So we got to be on the coast for a while, which not too bad over there, but when we went to central Australia, it was a little scary.
Mr. Carl, what did you do when you went on your trip to Australia?
Well, I was part of a singing group from my church, and we did 9 concerts in 8 days, and we were in the city for the most part of it, and this was back in the 70s, early 70s, so there was hardly any air conditioning at all, and it was really, really hot. You think we're hot up here? Try doing it in a church down under.
Carl.
Church. Tampa First Free Methodist Church.
Mr. Aaron, where
Yes,
did
ma'am.
Australia go?
Okay, so we flew, oh my goodness, it was such a long trip. So I started from our school. I went to ORU, Oral Roberts University, in Oklahoma. We flew to California, and then to New Zealand, and then finally to Brisbane, Australia. Now Brisbane is to the right, up in the right coast over here. So we flew in there, landed there, hung out there for a long time, and then we went right to the middle of Australia, where all the desert and the Aboriginals are and all that stuff. So those were the 2 locations that we were in.
Mr. Carl, what was your favorite thing about going to Australia?
Doing the concerts, performing, it was very similar to what we did here, only it was older music, but it wasn't old then. And then after the concerts, we would go outside to cool off, and then people would come up and talk to us, and then give us a chance to present the gospel of Christ to them.
What do you think, judges? Bonus question, geography question. Even that doesn't out in the middle of it.
Okay, the Aries Rock is in the central but I cannot remember the central area. I'm just having a... I'm
Can you remember
trying
the name of the desert?
I was 14 at the time. I wasn't very good in school, so remember I went to public school. So
I have a terrible memory for this stuff. I don't know what's up with that.
What do you think, judges? This is a hard one. This is hard. It could be either. Who do you believe is lying? Carl? Who says Carl's lying?
Carl's lying?
Carl's lying. We have 3 that say Carl is lying. 2 that say, oh, all 5. All 5 are saying Carl is lying. Wow. Gentlemen, who is telling the truth?
It was me!
Very good.
however, everything that I did say was true, but it was in the Dominican Republic.
All right, we have time for one more. I was part of the musical opening act for Gloria Estefan. It's quite hard. Alex starts off.
Where, Miss Carla, where did you play?
There were 3 times actually. The first time, before Gloria was the lead singer, she was just one of the backup dancing chicks. And the band was called Miami Sound Machine. And the 2 of us, my band and that band, we shared the stage for a thing called the Latin American Fiesta over in Tampa. They had to have a Spanish band and then a regular band. And so that was the first time. Then the second time was after they had become famous, and then they were the featured performers. We were still just the non-Spanish band playing for the dance. And then the third time was when they were like really exploding. She was on her own, and they did a benefit concert in Ybor City over in Tampa, and she actually requested that we be the opening act for her.
So, Mr. Aaron, what are 3 songs that were at
Oh, goodness. Again, it's been a long time. Trying to think, because they're all in Spanish, so they had Spanish titles, and I honestly, I can't remember. Sorry. No, I mean, we just opened for them, so like, I knew my set, I knew my songs, but I didn't know her songs. Like, I don't really listen to Gloria. It was cool to open for her, but, you know, and I only opened one time, by the way, so I'm not going to get on my high horse here.
So, Carl, where was the concert?
Well, the first 2, they were in a place called the Fort Coleman Husterly Armory, and it's also where they used to have the wrestling, not wrestling, but wrestling. Before it was the WWE, and so that hall was rented out for that Latin American Fiesta, and so those 2. And then the third one, the benefit concert, it was in the park in Ybor City.
Mr. Aaron,
Yes.
what song did you play?
What songs did we play? So we played several different secular songs that we were covering. Our band was right out of college. You know, we had the opportunity to open for several different people, but one of the songs that we did is we did Free Ride. You heard of it? Come on and take a free ride. All right, yeah, so that.
How big were the crowds? Like, I mean, I'm asking you, Mr. Aaron, like,
Yes.
how big were the crowds? Like, are there usually like a lot of people there?
Yeah, so I mean, concerts today are massive, and concerts back then were massive as well. I'd probably say, you know, because I only opened one time, probably, you know, that concert was about 60,000 people. Yeah, good chunk of people, definitely 60,000. Amphitheater.
So a band right out of college.
Right.
Open for 60,000.
Okay, so our band leader, okay, because I was not the band leader, our lead singer had some connections with a couple of the groups, and I was along for the ride, and it was an awesome experience. It was amazing.
It really sounds like it. Almost sounds too good to be true. All right, judges. Who believes Mr. Aaron is lying? Yeah, that's going to be 5 out of 5. Were they correct?
Yeah, Yes, they were correct. That's hard. I don't really know Gloria.
And she's actually prettier in real life than she is on TV.
All right, thank you guys. Let's kind of pray out, but our whole week has been talking about honesty, right? It's really easy to tell stories. Listen, I just want to finish with this. It's really easy to tell a bunch of stories like we did, right? And we want to be like everybody else, but I want to encourage you to tell your own story and be your own story. You don't have to lie. You don't have to be anybody else but you. And just fall right into what God has for you and the plans that He has for you. Let's pray this morning. Let's bow our heads. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to come here every day and be a part of a school that is a community of people that are all striving after one thing, to really benefit the world around us and to figure out who we are, Lord, as people. Lord, I pray that we would just continue to connect with you. And Lord, as we do struggle with things, or sometimes maybe it's hard to be honest, I pray that we would come to a place where we're so in connection with you that we can't help but be honest and be truthful, Lord God. I know we heard a story this week about Abe Lincoln and his honesty and the sacrifices that he made in order to show that, Lord. I pray that we would be the same. And that we'd go above and beyond to walk in the character that you have shown us through Jesus. And we thank you for today. We thank you for safety and covering as we go out. I pray that you cover us through the storm and that everyone would just enjoy today and have a great time with each other. We pray it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Good morning once again. I'm going to ask everyone to go ahead and bring our volume level down to 0. Where are you going, Sincere? I'm going to need him in a second. Okay, this is the time that we are going to go ahead and do our student shout-outs. The character trait this week, as you know, is honesty. And so I have several, which is going to be awesome. And Miss Chelsea, are you here? Okay, and I'm going to need her to take a picture of me when we're done. Okay, our first shout-out is from Mr. Dan. This student was actually picked by some of her classmates as being an honest person, and Mr. Dan is in full agreement, as am I, for Miss Ashley Wrigley. And from Miss Angel, this student's very honest in his words and actions, makes him very trustworthy, and I appreciate him using this important trait for Trevor Reinhardt. From Miss Mina, this student always demonstrates sincerity in all situations. He's a good role model for others. This is for Paul Hanna. From Mr. Aaron, this student always communicating if there's help needed on a math concept. For Miss Paisley Cheatley. I am going to need you to run down for the pictures, so come down. Is my little friend back in yet? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, from Dr. D, this student displayed honesty when he made a bad choice and admitted to what he did, and without any delay. For Mr. Sincere Holmes. And for Mr. Carl, for this student, for honestly being awesome. This is for Abby Forrest. Or what? Yeah, just don't trip. There we go. And I know this student's not here today, but I'm going to go ahead and read her shout out. This is from Miss Serena for making a good choice by being honest about an incident that happened in the classroom. And this is for Katie Rainbows. morning or did they all scoot out already? Okay. So, time for workshops. I need 11